Yo, Maya, Grace, what is up? How are we doing tonight?
Good. Pretty good.
Doing good.
Yeah, it's awesome actually to have you guys on, and especially, you know, at this point in time, there's a lot to unpack. I mean, obviously, Grace, we had you on. There's a shit ton to unpack between the last time we talked to you and now, and then what's even better is you brought a friend. So, Maya, we're gonna get a chance to get your backstory a little bit, but also unpack the season, a historic season at the University of Memphis with the women's soccer program. But before we get into all that, Maya, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, you missed crossover tonight. Are you having like a Thanksgiving like hangover? Is that what's going on? You're still a little full. How was Thanksgiving and what did you do? Did you spend it with family? Did you spend it with friends?
Yeah.
What'd you
Um,
do?
I actually went with my roommate Bree. We went to Ohio to visit her aunt up in Ohio, and I'd never met them before, so it was really cool. I met a bunch of people in her family, and we had a really good Thanksgiving break, very restful, and we went shopping, a lot of shopping.
Wow, it seems to be the standard. You go, you eat a lot, and then the next day you just wake up and you spend a lot of money. So,
Yep.
hey, I don't blame you. Grace, what about you? How was Thanksgiving?
Um, actually went to Ohio as well with a teammate Peyton. Went up there, spent some time with her family. Did some hiking, went shopping for maybe about half an hour. Didn't last too long, but just kind of hung out, went go-karting, did all that fun stuff.
Man, it's probably good to unwind a little bit, get away from the soccer field, obviously reflect a little bit. Um, Obviously it's hard to really get rid of soccer. There's a lot of World Cup action going on. You guys are just now removed from the season. But Maya, have you had a chance to watch any World Cup action? If so, anybody looking good? Who do you think's going to take this thing?
So I've watched a lot of World Cup. I was actually in class today. Probably shouldn't tell you guys this, and me and my friend had the World Cup on the laptop instead of listening. But I hope Argentina wins because of Messi. I know everybody's gonna say that, but I really love Messi and I hope they can win the World Cup.
Well, they struggled out the
Mhm.
gate, but they looked a lot better the last game.
He had a good game last game.
Yeah. Grace, what about you? Have you spent some time watching the men on the pitch?
Um, I've probably watched one full game. Um, I look at the scores via social media, but I'll watch it once it gets to the more important games like the semifinals and the
What's the
final.
full game that you watched?
Uh, Canada v did they play Belgium first?
Canada, of
You were in the
course.
front of the car. You didn't even watch.
No, wait. No, okay, who was the game before that day?
There wasn't a game. Canada's
Yes,
Canada's
there was. The first game, the very first game of the World Cup is the game I watched. Wasn't Canada.
It was
Grace
that
is
was
watching reruns.
Qatar.
I was
Qatar
half
played.
watching Canada because my lovely teammate Maya had it dialed on her phone the whole time. So
Yeah, and I was very loud, so
yeah.
she knew what was happening.
So outside of Canada, Grace, who do you think has a good shot to take this thing?
Um, a wise woman once said Argentina will win because of Messi, and we want them to. So I'll back her up on that one.
It's it's a good answer. Good answer. Probably a good money line for those guys. But that's enough of those dudes. I'll see enough soccer between now and 2 weeks from now. I want to get into you guys and a historic season, an amazing season. But Maya, I want to talk to you first. Obviously, you're new to being on the show. I want to, let our listeners get a little bit about your background. Tell me a little bit about, obviously, where you're from and where you grew up.
I'm also from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, like Grace. It's a beautiful city. And I started playing soccer when I was 5 years old, I think. I really did not like it. My mom forced me into it. I played for about a year and then I quit. And then my dad made me go back into it and I fell in love with the game. And I've been playing ever since. So
So obviously you talk about mom and dad. You got any brothers or sisters? Were they athletes? And was that kind of why? they were pushing you to play?
I'm actually the oldest. I have two sisters and one younger brother. They're all pretty young. My brother's 7. None of them are very athletic. I hope they don't listen to this. My brother hopes to play soccer one day. He tries really hard and I hope he goes far. But I think my parents really pushed me because they saw that I had potential at a young age and they just wanted to keep trying to get me to like it. And at some point I did, and I'm very thankful that they did that for me. So
Usually we ask who you feel is the most athletic in the family, but based off of what you just said, I think we just skip right over that question and
I
kind of
think my
roll.
brother might argue that one, but he's 7, so he'll always do that.
Of course, you wouldn't expect anything less from him. But obviously, you start playing soccer, you develop a love for it. You win a gold 2014 and silver in 2016 with the CONCACAF national team. So, it's CONCACAF. So explain to me what the abbreviation is. What does that mean? And it's obviously a national team, but what does it mean to play for a team like that?
So CONCACAF is like the confederation for North American soccer. So I was playing with the youth Canadian national team at that time, representing them in the CONCACAF tournament. And we played against teams like the United States and Mexico and Jamaica. So that was definitely like a real honor to have that opportunity. And yeah, we won some medals when I was really young, which was like an amazing experience to have.
Yeah, I mean, you won the gold 2014, silver in 2016. You had a national club championship title in 2015. You're a member of the Four Nations tournament that same season. Obviously, thinking about where you're at now and kind of the experiences that led up into you being where you're at now, were, those had to be like invaluable experiences, things that you gotta, attribute to your success now, right?
Definitely, yeah. I think having those experiences really gave me the confidence to continue to pursue soccer at a higher level. It showed me that maybe this could be something that I pursue for a long time. And obviously now I'm 4th year in college and I'm loving it like more than ever. Like it's definitely a very big thing in my life, and I'm just glad that I had those experiences at a young age to push me on in college.
We have this argument all the time, and it's like club ball versus like high school sports. So obviously, in here in the States, it's like the club and travel ball trumps everything. That's really where you get noticed, where, colleges start, you get on their radar and they start pursuing you. It's
Mhm.
really like the big thing. So I'll ask you, obviously, where did you go to high school, and was high school a big like driver in getting you to the next level, or was it all the experiences outside of high school that did it for you?
So, in Canada, it works a bit differently than like in America. We don't really have club in high school. So like you play outside of your high school. And me and Grace actually played together in high school. And then my last year, I decided to move to Vancouver and play for an academy out in Vancouver, which definitely that got me most of my exposure, and also having that help me in getting to Memphis as well. Being able to say that I was going to an academy helped me pursue Memphis and get to where I am. So.
So in the States, like if you play, let's say soccer, if you play soccer in Tennessee, it's
Mhm.
much different than playing soccer, in Mississippi or California or Florida. What is the difference in level of soccer from Calgary to Vancouver, or is there?
Um, there isn't like a huge difference. I think for me it was just like experiencing something new. We have like different academies throughout the country, and I had felt that it was a really cool opportunity to be coached by new coaches, and also for the national team, it was a better pathway to getting to the national team and staying in the national team because the national team coach was actually based out of Vancouver. So I decided to make that decision because I thought it might help me to pursue my national team endeavors.
Gotcha. And so obviously, I don't want to, completely skip over high school. You obviously were a track and field star. You were a 6-time academic honoree. You know, what is the importance that academics played? Obviously, you got all the athleticism, you got all the soccer skills and talent, but
Mhm.
was academics a big factor? Because I know when I think of like someone like me, if I was as skilled as you were, I would probably go like bump all this school stuff. Like I'm just gonna focus on what I'm really good at. I'll deal with that later.
Mhm. I think like my parents have really instilled in me the value of academics, and they just like told me as I was leaving to college, like obviously you're an athlete, but you're a student first, and that needs to be prioritized above everything else. Um, and I think like academics not only like obviously helps you in your future career, but like it shows you like discipline, which helps you in sports as well. And I think like the values that I have in soccer, I have the same values in academics, just working hard and um just trying to pursue the next level and always learning as much as I can. So
I take it during those 6-time academic honorees, you weren't watching the World Cup in class. Just
I still took notes today. I was just watching Brazil play at the same time.
all right, answer this. Name one thing that you wrote down in notes today.
Uh,
Oh no.
I
That's
learned
why
about
they're notes. You
learned
can go back
about
and review them.
yeah, I couldn't tell you a single thing I wrote down. I was writing them, but I wasn't computing the information. I was just doing it for later.
That's
Gotcha.
a
So
solid answer.
you're
Thank you.
you are essentially faking it.
Yes.
If hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah. That you will have many opportunities to go to class, but how many times will you get to watch Brazil play in the World Cup?
I mean, how many opportunities will you get to watch them in class?
Probably none.
Even better. So you're
Yeah.
just taking advantage of a situation that may never come around again. So
I'll probably remember it forever now that you
there,
guys have brought it up.
there you go. I can respect that. So obviously, you get to a point where it's time to make the leap to college. At what point do you realize, all right, I'm gonna go to college and I'm going to play? And then how does Memphis get into the mix?
Okay. Um, I knew at a very young age that I wanted to go to the States. That was kind of a decision I made by probably like 13 or 14. I didn't know where I wanted to go. Um, and obviously I spoke to a few schools, and I knew kind of that I wanted to go to Memphis pretty early because I knew a few girls that went here. Tanya Boychuk is one of my very good friends. Um, and she had obviously spoke to me about it, and I spoke to the coach, and then once I came and visited the school, I was like, yeah, this is where I want to go. I think it took me a week to make my decision, and within a week I called him and I was like, I'd like to commit here. So it was all kind of, it happened really fast, but I think knowing somebody that what like already spent a year here really helped me make my decision because she had experienced it and she could really give me confidence in coming to the program.
So, a lot of people, have that kind of personal story where it was somebody they knew, or it was, just they showed up on campus and it just spoke to them and that was the place. Others talk about the coach. Obviously I gotta, we'll get into Coach Monahan a lot, but obviously he's created something there that, I told the guys this the other day is that, the soccer program, the women's soccer program at the University of Memphis is probably right now in the best like shape of any program that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is just Coach Monahan grinding and putting together and really, reaching out to Canada, pulling in some of the best players, that is there. But was there anything about Coach that, helped you make that decision, or was it solely like, I want to play soccer? My friend said this is good. I have a good feeling about it. Let's just go to Memphis.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing he said to me that really gave me confidence was that he will always be honest. And he's a very honest man. And that's good in many ways. You want that in a coach. And I obviously didn't know him at the time, but I trusted Tanya and I trusted his word that he said he was always going to bring the best out of the team. And he's he instills like hard work, which is very important to me, and his honesty. So I thought from that, I was like, I trust him, and that's kind of how I made my decision.
So since we're talking honesty and, we're talking about other players help lead you here, when we had Grace on the first time, she said she considered not going to Memphis because you were there, but, she figured why not? Why not?
Mya won too many awards. I couldn't possibly come, being from Calgary as well.
And then she won awards. So look where we're at.
Top drawer, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So,
oh, yeah.
So Grace, high expectations this season. Y'all started ranked in the top 25, obviously coming off a second round appearance in the NCAA tournament last year. Coach Monaghan has built a consistent good program that, Daniel was just talking about, and y'all had all that talent coming back. So for you personally, everybody always says, winning a national championship is the expectation, but with what y'all had coming back and with the progress y'all had made last year, Grace, was the national championship the expectation?
Our team is very honest with where we're at in the season and what needs to be done before you can ultimately look at a national championship, because obviously that happens at the very end of your season. I think we started kind of how every season starts. We wanted to get to know each other, learn how to play with each other, and we had a hiccup mid-season, and that's kind of when we all got together and said we need to work to get into conference tournament. And then same thing, we got in and we said, okay, now we need to work together to win conference tournament. So I bet you if we made Elite Eight, if we were to beat Arkansas national championship, conversation would have been held, but it's baby steps leading up to that point.
Yeah, no doubt. But, I want to get into a specific game I was at. We talk about you might be the toughest female athlete. You might be the toughest athlete. Forget female athlete we've had on this show, Grace. So when I'm watching you in Oxford and Ole Miss and you get hurt, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way, not Grace. It pained me to see you laid up on that table. It really did. But I was listening to the commentators talk about how you played every single minute after that game. So for you, like, how much time do you just put into your training and your endurance to be able to play every single minute of every single game?
Honestly, hopefully coaches don't listen to this, not as much as I should, but I've found that works for me.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Closer to the end of the season, we had this funny saying where I would just say, I'm going to body it, and whatever happens, and you just got to keep pushing through. So, but it is important. After every training session, obviously we recover, and that's really what gets you along. But I think it comes to a point where it's more mental than physical, especially with all the minutes being played.
Yeah, and that injury, that night it was so funny because my daughter, obviously we came there to see you and we were going to talk to you afterward, and she was like, I don't want to bother her while she's injured. I was like, that's great. She ain't gonna care. I was like, she's just gonna get up and walk this thing off. And sure enough, you were back out there playing the next game every single minute. So you are who you are. But I want to talk about a big storyline that wasn't Memphis soccer specific, but it was a big deal in general. And that was the unfortunate murder of Eliza Fletcher. Just curious on how that affected the team, affected Coach Monaghan, what words he said to y'all, about what had happened and what she meant to him and the Memphis soccer program.
Yeah, he brought us together, and right from the start you could tell something was up. He almost was in tears when he told us the news, when he told us how he knew her personally. I don't think any of us were there when she was on the team, but seeing your coach, the man, being so vulnerable, I think it really opened a lot of our eyes, and we realized that this girl meant a lot to people in Memphis, and she still does, and forever will mean a lot to this program. So it was really cool seeing what we could make of it, but obviously devastating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you talked about captivating the city and what she meant. I mean, just seeing the reaction when they had the run for her. I mean, just, that was almost emotional for me. I didn't even know her at all, but it's just, having daughters, having a wife, all that, it was very touching for sure. But Mya, I want to get to you. Jim was talking about the Ole Miss game, but you got injured in the Ole Miss game. You had to miss, I think, 3 games. What injury were you dealing with?
I had a concussion actually for the first time in my soccer career. I got hit like on the side of the head, and I thought I was fine. I thought I could walk it off. I was not fine. Thought I was fine the next day, and I was not fine. So it was really difficult, those 3 games to miss for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Jim kind of talked on this too a little bit. It was the season kind of or actually it was Grace that said it, that the hiccups, but you guys never were. The season starts and you kind of up and down, can't really get that string of wins together until, of course, the end of the season. But as a senior leader, how do you keep the team focused? And is it just the baby steps that Grace talked about, or how do you keep everybody on the same page?
I think we do a very good job as a team to all have the same mindset. And I don't think at any point in the season, even when we were struggling, did we ever think or not believe in ourselves. And I think that just we will do everything to win. And when we got to that point in the season, when we were struggling, we were having those hiccups, we all just kind of came together, we sat down and we just talked it out. And there was so many good conversations happening, and at that point I was like, you know what, this is the point where it's going to turn around, and it did, which was amazing. And I think our captains, Grace is one of them, did a fantastic job of leading the team and ensuring that that mindset was instilled in the team and nobody doubted that at any point.
Yeah, so obviously, and looking back on it, from the outside looking in, it looked like the season kind of took a positive turn against East Carolina. You guys went on 1-3 straight, and you're scoring goals, dishing out assists. So what's the feeling? What's the pulse of the team kind of going into the AAC tournament?
We felt good going in the AAC tournament, and it was tough because we actually just lost the game before it against SMU, which was really unfortunate. But going up until that point, we were just on fire. We were feeling good, and I think we were kind of just like, we have nothing to lose. We're going to go into this tournament and we're going to win the whole thing. And the energy was so high in the team. And I just knew, like, from that first game, I was so confident that we were going to win the whole thing. And we did, which was amazing.
Yeah, and with that, so Grace, y'all win the American Athletic Conference tournament, but made sure to make the fans sweat as every game went to overtime. Just how tough were those battles? Just speaks to the American Athletic Conference. And, we talked about endurance, had to play 110 minutes, 3 straight games. So just talk about that tournament and how grueling it was, Grace.
Like Mya said, I think with everyone being so ready and so pumped to be there, the overtime minutes, looking back, I probably wouldn't even remember that every single one of those games went into overtime, because at the end of the day, I think after each overtime, we would say it's just 10 more minutes. It's just 10 more, and you do all you can for those 10 minutes. And if it goes PKs, it does. And if you score, you hold off for those 7 or 5 minutes, whatever's left. But no, I think Mya said it perfectly. The energy was high, and we underdogs coming in, especially losing our last regular season game. So just get the job done.
Which one of those wins felt best? Was it UCF?
I'd have to say UCF, just
So
because
good.
it's home field, and we take them with never beating us in the last 4 years, and now they're out of our conference, so they have nothing on us, truthfully.
Very nice, very nice. So, one of the things I know from watching you all season, whether going to the games or watching on TV, is you play defense, but at times you get moved to midfield. Down the stretch of the games, especially in the NCAA tournament, you were playing, it seemed like, more midfield than defense. At what point did Coach Monahan decide to, play you there more? And was there a discussion, or is it one of those things that just happened?
So actually never once was a midfielder.
They had you marked as a midfielder
I know.
on every game.
I've told our manager of ops to change that every single game, and she never did. But they're just very lenient with me. A couple people here joke around and say I'm the most attacking defender they've ever seen.
That's where I was going to go with that, because if you were playing defense, you were on offense more than I normally see you up there.
Yeah. Once I get my confidence, and once I me and Mya run the right side of the field, honestly, and once we're rolling and it's a good game, I know I have enough juice in me to keep going forward. And why not? It's fun to attack just as much as it's fun to defend.
I also want to take some credit for that, because I definitely encourage her every second to go forward.
If me and Mya had mics on the field, you'd hear beat her, Mya, and then take her, Stordy.
Well, Mya, I'm glad you encourage Grace, because my daughter plays the same position as Grace. That's why she works with her, and I encourage her all the time to go up, but she's always hesitant. And it's like, we'll be watching Grace. I'm like, look at Grace going all the way to the goal with it, and so I'm glad you encourage her to do that, and especially getting to see that goal that we'll get into here in a minute that she scored. So y'all get into the tourney and y'all draw St. Louis, the number 2 seed. For you and the ladies, did it matter who it was, Grace, or were y'all ready for anybody?
I think everyone was so excited just to see who we got. And when it was St. Louis, there's a bit of back and forth of, oh, we got it and oh, we don't. But I think once all the fog kind of settled and we were like, listen, like, I mean, for me personally, it was let's win so they don't get the record for most wins in a row, because that's just kind of like a extra little brownie point for us. But that game was chaotic in the first half, honestly, and it was very tough, but they're a great team, and honestly, it couldn't have been a better draw for us.
Yeah, and I think it's great. There's nothing better than when you see the writers write, not from Memphis, obviously, but pretty much dismiss y'all as not having a chance, and then you go into their house and beat them. So that's always an extra good feeling. But, something I want to talk about is the second game. Talk about an extra good feeling. These two guys have known me for 25 years. There's nothing I like more than to be right. And do you remember me and you having a text conversation during the Mississippi State LSU game? And I told you that neither team was fundamentally sound and that they relied too much on their athleticism, and that if you were to play either team, you would beat them. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And so when y'all played Mississippi State and beat them 4-0, I was like, I know everything. No, no, but seriously, I saw it. Y'all, the way Memphis plays soccer and the way that they play soccer, I couldn't have seen 4-0. But I definitely thought y'all were the better team when I had saw it, and then to see it play out. So, just how good did that win feel?
That was an awesome game. Honestly, that's probably the best soccer we've played all year. And if we were able to repeat that every single time we played, I think we truly would be untouchable.
And so the last question on that game, and I'll let Randy get back to the goal that you scored. I paused the TV, I took the picture. I mean, the joy that was on your face, how ecstatic were you to score that goal that basically, y'all were up 2-0, but that 3-0, that was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that goal was extra important to me. I had just lost someone really close to me. One of my best friend's brothers passed, and told myself I was going to dedicate that game to him. And so scoring that goal just truthfully, honestly, meant the world to me.
Yeah. So Mya, you guys, obviously you beat St. Louis, you get Mississippi State. So did you guys, obviously you're in the middle of the tournament, so maybe you don't think about this, but what did it feel like to know that you took this team further than any other Memphis Tiger soccer had gone before?
It was amazing. I think winning after the whistle blew in the Mississippi State game, I felt like we won the World Cup, which is so funny because it was second round, but it just felt so amazing to know that we made history for the team, and the way that we did make history was just even that much better. Like the 4-0 win, and just how amazing we played, and just the chemistry amongst the players, amongst the coaches and the people on the bench. It felt like one of the best feelings in the world for sure. And obviously after that game, I have so much confidence in this team going forward in the future, but I truly believed in us so much, and we gave Arkansas a run for their money, which was also a fantastic game as well.
Yeah, you took my next question, but that's okay. So at this point, obviously, you're beating teams that, like Jim said, a lot of people didn't think that you guys had a chance to do it. You guys believed it. So at this point, did you feel like, I'm sure you're going to say yes, you kind of just did. Did you could beat anybody, Arkansas or anybody else?
Yeah.
Grace is shaking her head. She's like, oh,
yeah, we went into that game and we were like, we are going to go and win this game. And it was an unfortunate result in the end, but I will say it and say it again. We were the better team and we deserved to win that game. And I guarantee you, if we went into the next game against Florida State, we would have given them a run for their money as well. So I think this team was capable of going to a Final Four, even a national championship.
And I believe it too. So listen, this next question, it's from my producer, and I got to ask you. How many goals did you score in the Arkansas? Was it 2 or 1?
It was only 1.
Okay, because Jim was pretty insistent that Grace got a goal, but they gave you credit for 2 goals. I just got to know the beef here.
So I actually passed the ball to Grace down the line, and then Grace crossed it to JoJo. But because I was playing striker, they gave me the goal. It wasn't me.
It hit JoJo's calf and went in.
And my daughter was irate that they didn't give the goal to Grace. She was like, she scored. I don't care what anybody says.
It was Grace's goal for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So listen, obviously talking about the Arkansas game and how great of a game, had you guys ever been part of a game that was as intense as that? I guess with so much on the line, I'm sure it meant more. But have you guys ever been of a game that was like that before?
I honestly can't remember a game in my entire soccer career that was that intense and that back and forth. Like they scored, we scored, they scored, we scored. Like it was like 110 minutes of like chaos, but also just like back and forth soccer. It was so difficult. I remember after that game the next day, my body was in so much pain. And I've played a lot of like overtime games in my life, but that one like hit different for some reason.
And Randy, I'll tell you, Grace and Maya have sat here and talked about how 110 isn't real different to them. I was texting Daniel in real time. That's the first time I've seen y'all look tired. That's how I know that game was growing. Both of y'all were kind of trotting a little bit.
I we actually conceded in the overtime or before overtime. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to complete this 90 minutes. And I remember looking at the clock and there was 3 minutes left, and I was like, one more run, one more run. And Serla was down the line and it just happened to land on my foot, but I was exhausted. I couldn't even celebrate. Kimmy was running at me. I was so tired.
Yeah, no doubt. Left it all on the field. So obviously, it goes down to PKs. The final shot comes, comes down to you. Keeper
Yep.
makes an incredible save. The emotion from you, obviously, it kind of hurt to see that. Can only imagine what it felt like for you. But just kind of walk us through kind of what your emotions were. But don't get emotional or nothing. We're all positive vibes on the show.
Okay.
And it was just an amazing save. And just to kind of walk us through what you felt in that moment, and kind of have you had time to process it all since then?
Yeah. I walked up to that PK and I was confident in myself, and I double guessed which way I was going to go, but I was like, I'm just going to hit this and hit it with confidence. And, she made a good save at the end of the day. Um, it hurt because they obviously celebrated running at me. Like it felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And I kept apologizing to everybody that I was walking up to on the team. Like everybody was hugging and I was just like, I'm so sorry. And I think for me, like the way the team responded helped me get through it, because they were like, it is not on you. It like we did this together, whatever, whatever. And it hurt in the moment, but like I could not be prouder of how we got to that moment. So I just can't be upset about it anymore.
Yeah, and there's a reason why you go last. I assume if I'm a coach strategically, I want who I have the most confidence in taking that shot. So everybody knows you were the right person. And like you said, Barbara, I mean, she made a great save. You just got to call it what it is. I mean, and so I thought it was a great shot. It's just unfortunate.
And also, I tell Jim this all the time. There's hardly, especially as long as you guys played that game, there's never a sporting event ever that only comes down to one thing, one play. Even though people see the last shot and they think that's it. No, it's not one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially y'all played like 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. If there's anything that anyone should be disappointed in, is the fact that it has to come down to that to decide the game. Like
Mhm.
I think, as tired as you were, you could equally say both teams were tired.
Mm-hmm.
So throw some more time on there, or just play until someone scores. Like
Grace, we've worked so hard to get Daniel to like soccer, and he texts me so pissed off that the game ended on PKs versus scoring on the field.
because I feel like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but I feel like there's a lot of luck, not skill. There are a lot of skill things, but there's a lot of luck that goes into the PK part. More luck than I would like to see decide a game of that magnitude. So, I mean, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but Maya, Grace, we first and foremost are proud of y'all. I mean, anytime that we get athletes on here that have done what you guys have done, you've taken a program, you've, Maya, you're leaving the program better than where you left it. You completed a historic run. Grace, you're part of something that you're continuing to grow, and like it's amazing to know that I'm a fan of the city of Memphis. I'm a fan of the university and the athletic program, and it's awesome to see you guys be very successful. So, we are extremely proud of y'all, and happy that you guys were able to do and accomplish what you did. Even to the extent that, Grace, you're being named top soccer drawer, team of the week. Um, you know, Grace, how does it feel? Like, obviously, it's a big stage to get to where you guys got, but now you're getting recognition nationally. Like, is that something that obviously you feel good about it, but is that something that you start the season and go, this is what I want to accomplish, like this personal goal? Or is it just, I'm going to play hard and whatever comes with it comes with it?
I didn't even know what that award meant at first. I actually had to ask like Maya and Peyton and other teammates. I was like, oh yeah, like team of the week. But no, I don't think about awards because awards don't come with the 10 other girls that are on the field with me. So if I was out there by myself, definitely wouldn't get any, but I just choose to not think about that, and if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't change my work rate whatsoever.
Well, then y'all's first team All American or first team All Conference is out the window. That didn't mean anything either. Just since both y'all got that.
You just slough that one off once you get it.
Yeah.
So, Maya, I mean, obviously, senior season, is there a way that we can dig up another year of eligibility for you? Is there something?
Well, I do have another year of eligibility because of COVID, actually. So I do have
All
my
right.
fifth year.
So
at
what is the plan? Have you decided? Are you coming back? Are you gonna go do something else? Like what's the future hold for you
Breaking
right now?
news from Mya Jones.
Well, as of right now, I'm for sure graduating school in May, but my plan is to come back and play for the school in the fall.
Let's go.
You heard it
Do
here first. In off the
Do
bench
it.
special. Maya's back.
Post this everywhere.
Let me put this down.
You know, for the first time and ever, I've lived in this city my entire life and listened to sports radio. The first time I'd ever heard the University of Memphis women's soccer head coach on 92.9 ESPN was last week. I mean, that's awesome. You guys deserve the press.
And it wasn't like this 10-minute like little like segment. This was like a half-hour like interview. Like it might have even been longer than that. So you guys are doing big things. Grace, well, before we roll into a game, and get you guys out of here, Grace, I gotta ask. Obviously, the season's over. Now you can focus and put your coaching hat back on. You've been doing a lot of individualized, personal, one-on-one coaching with Jim's daughter, Taylor. Is it time to go no mercy on her little tail?
I think you want to say a curse word right there, bro.
I did, but I held back. But I think she's a little bit too big for her britches. I think she needs to be checked up by Grace.
Me and Taylor, I think, have a pretty good relationship. So sometimes I do put her in her place when needed, but strictly confidence wise, that girl has a lot of fire on her feet. So she can do big things for sure. It's just a matter of when she believes it herself instead of just me and her dad.
Well, she already said the first thing after watching all these games in the NCAA tournament, if you don't perfect her slide tackle, she's going to be mad.
That's funny because I barely know how to slide tackle.
Well, you better bring somebody who does.
Well,
you got to do an early morning session for that so the grass is wet.
Grace, the last thing that you need to make sure that Jim knows is that now that you've taken, the Memphis program to such historic heights, that fee, that individualized coaching fee.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
And if it's longer than 2 hours, it's quadrupled at this point.
Listen, the more awards she wins, the higher the bill.
There you go. See, I'm just here trying to help you guys, pay the bills and just help other people get better. I mean,
if you guys know anybody that needs coaching, hit me up too.
There you go. See, you got two of the greatest players in the country willing to dish out their services. And just so people know that are listening, it ain't gonna come cheap. Good coaching ain't cheap. So don't be contacting
that
them.
Sweet 16 coaching goes high.
Yep. I don't know the going rate, but I'm sure I can't afford it. So
I'll tell you this, Daniel, because you're a baseball guy. It's not more expensive than baseball, so that's the good news.
Yeah, well, I mean,
baseball's ridiculous.
But yeah, there's a lot of bad coaches out there, and we're not talking to two bad coaches. So, all right. Well, my Grace, let's get you guys out of here. Let's play a game, and you guys can carry on your evening. So the game is called This or That. Grace, you played it before, but Maya, for you, it's very simple. Give you two options. All you got to do is be decisive. Pick one option or the other. Can't say both. Can't say neither. You got to be very, go with the one thing that speaks to you the most.
Okay.
All right. So I'll make it easy. We'll direct, since Grace, you played this before. We'll start with you on every question first, so you can kind of lead the way, and then Maya, you'll answer second. So, first question. It's starting to get cold around the M town. So, I'll ask Grace, would you rather have hot coffee or iced coffee?
Iced coffee.
Maya, hot coffee or iced coffee?
Hot.
Like what kind of hot coffee? You doing, like a latte? You doing a little
Latte with almond milk.
You guys ever thought about putting mayonnaise in it?
Dude, you had to go there, right?
Jim, he only drinks coffee with mayonnaise in it.
Yeah, it's very silly.
Oh wow.
I did it once, and it was part of a challenge. These guys. Moving on.
Maybe one day he'll grow up, but I'm not holding my breath. English or math, Grace? Which subject?
English. I hate math.
Maya, English or math?
Math. I love math.
See, it's the tale of two tapes here. They are such good friends, but every answer is going to be opposite. What, Grace, would you rather have night games or day games?
Night games.
Maya, night games or day games?
Night games.
Yeah, it's just something about being under the lights, and it's just, I don't know, it hits a little different.
Well, if you're a Memphis fan, you want night games because during the day you can't see the field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. Is it the sun? Like, what's the
Dude,
issue during the day?
Is for fan? I don't know how it is for them, but for fans, the way the soccer field's set up in Memphis, we can't see anything when the sun's out.
Well, Grace, we got to pick one of these fine gents, Ronaldo or Neymar.
Ronaldo.
Maya, who you got?
Like soccer wise, or how they look?
Either is fine.
I mean,
I went for looks.
Okay, Neymar.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
what about for soccer? Like,
Neymar. I'm a big Neymar fan.
Grace, what about for soccer?
Wise woman once said Neymar.
Wow. I need to see what kind of skincare regimen this guy's got. All right, roller coasters or water slides, Grace?
Roller coasters.
Maya, roller coasters or water slides?
Roller coasters.
Animals or people, Grace?
This is a
That's right. I put this in just for you. I did.
animals.
Maya, animals or people?
People. Animals and me don't get along.
Oh.
Yeah.
Grace, what's your favorite animal?
I love my puppies, but I also do love horses.
No, you don't.
And Maya, what
She
is
said no,
the
you don't.
animal? Maya, what is the animal you dislike the most?
I don't want to.
Puppies and horses.
Mad.
She's gonna say puppies and kittens and ruin everything.
I like cats. I have 4 cats at home. I like dogs, but sometimes we don't get along. So I would
That's
say-
such a lie. You hate dogs. You only like my dog.
I like your dog.
Yes.
Yeah, but other dogs, no.
All right, Grace, would you rather have intense pain for an hour or dull pain that lasts all day long?
Intense pain for an hour.
Mm,
Maya, what would you rather have?
I think the same. Intense pain for an hour.
Yeah, get it over with. I mean, you guys are tough anyway, so the intense pain probably wouldn't be that big of a deal for you. Just roll right through that. Grace, hero or villain?
Hero.
Oh, I'm
Maya.
disappointed.
Hero or villain?
Hero.
All right. Maya, who's your favorite hero?
Like a comic book hero or like a person?
Just any like I can't define hero to you.
Mm, that's a good one. I really love my my African American history, so I'd have to say MLK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grace, who you taking? Who's your favorite hero?
She's gonna say a wise person once said and follow right behind Maya.
Yeah. And why is it Neymar?
Superhero wise, I'm
Yeah.
going with Iron Man.
Mm.
Yes, solid answer.
Decent. It's not
Great
Batman.
guy. All
Right.
around great guy.
Yeah, he's no Batman, but he'll do.
All right, ladies. Last question. Grace, would you rather have massive success by accident or modest success on purpose?
Modest success on purpose.
Mhm.
Maya, what would you rather have?
Same thing. Modest success on purpose.
Well, I think you guys are going to change your tune. Randy, rephrase this for them so they really understand the levity of this question.
Grace, let me. I'm looking directly at you. All right. If I was to say, I would give you $100 million, or you get to earn $20 million. Which one are you taking?
I would earn 20 million.
Why do you want 80 million less dollars, Grace?
Well, I would feel selfish.
That's
taking
that's
that much
exactly
money.
right.
But
100 million?
But
I could
yet she's gonna
never-
double me up on these coaching fees. Okay.
that 100 million, pardon my word, is FU money. Like
Exactly.
no one needs that much money.
Maya's gonna change her mind. Watch this.
I
Maya.
do.
Maya's
I'm
not.
just
I can already see she's gonna earn the 20 million too. And I respect your answer,
Nah,
but
she would take it. She would take the 100.
So
No.
I mean that's a lot of shopping. I could
That's
do
a lot of shop. Look, I'm gonna give you 100 million, no strings attached, or you can earn 20 million.
I think I would still earn 20 million.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure if you can earn 20 million, you could probably
would-
get
Get into
100 million
100.
later.
Thank you for that.
You know, I gotta ask. This question was so deflating. I gotta ask one more. We can't end it like this. We can't. So, Grace, bucket list sporting event or bucket list concert? Which one would you choose?
This is
Do I
easy.
get to pick the venue of my concert?
Yeah, we'll get into all that, but would you
Concert.
concert? Maya,
I can't believe you just said that. Definitely sporting event, World Cup final. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, but if I got to
Be
choose
Justin Bieber
anyone,
any day, any
if I got to choose anyone anywhere, I'd make it better than the World Cup.
Well, let's hear it.
Yeah,
all right,
where is it and who is it?
Do tell, Grace.
Okay, the venue in Colorado, the
Red
Rock.
Rocks.
Red
Red
Rocks.
Rocks. I guarantee you it ain't Taylor Swift because ain't nobody getting tickets to that
No.
concert.
Absolutely not. I would do my opener would be Jimmy Buffett and the Beach Boys and Alan Jackson, since I get to make my own concert. And then my middle would be Morgan Wallen. I would revive all the Beatles, and I would then listen to maybe like Khalid, someone
How
like
many people are at this concert?
This is like a
Jeez, this is
music fest.
festival.
festival at this point. And then my closer would be
This was not the question.
well, I'm making it my own question. The closer would be Tate McRae.
The girl from Calgary?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Well, let's see. I
You
feel
do
like
need $100 million.
somebody- Yeah. And on top of the fact, like, Jim, we got to find a new question because obviously she's been asked this question before because she had this master plan for a
I don't
festival.
want to ask the question anymore because it can't be answered any more fun than that. I mean, the way
I
she
wanted-
laid that
I mean,
out.
I was waiting for the set list for each artist.
Could
Well,
give
we're
you
gonna-
my top 3 songs.
No.
Top,
it's okay.
no, I only want to know this. Top 3 Morgan Wallen songs.
Off the top of my head, More Than My Hometown.
My favorite.
Wondering About the Wind.
Okay. Solid.
And what's one of his newer ones? 1 second. I'll look really quick.
Grace.
I know. It's
Oh, you know,
While she's thinking, Maya, please tell me you're not like this country music person.
I'm not a big country music fan.
Thought You Should Know.
Thought You Should Know is I love it.
Grace is playing in the background.
Are you serious right now? Turn that off.
I mean,
I love it.
Good song.
It's a tough listen. Maya, what's the last song that was on when you were in the car?
Ooh. Just look at my Spotify. I don't really listen to much music if I'm being completely honest.
You listen to In Off the Bench podcast when you're in your car?
I do.
That's understandable.
Oh, Role Models by J. Cole. That was
Role
last
Models.
song.
Okay.
See, I get down with Maya's music more. This country, Daniel, we got way too many guests saying country music. Now, however, Grace did say Jimmy Buffett, and I went with my dad and his friends to a Jimmy Buffett concert. Those things are off the chain.
And the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys.
You're such an old soul, Grace.
I know.
Oh shit! I mean, she said she wanted to bring all the Beatles back and have them play.
Well, that would just be like iconic. Like, who wouldn't want?
No Grateful Dead. I mean, I understand.
All right, Maya, Grace, anything you guys want to plug or promote before you guys get out of here? I'll start with you, Grace.
Ooh, 901 better come to all of our home games next year.
Yeah.
Something to
Need some more
prove that.
fans.
Yeah.
Maya, anything you want to plug or promote?
Just gonna say the same thing as Grace. Be there next year.
Or
Be
be
there.
square.
Especially
year.
with Maya Jones is coming back.
You have heard it here first, literally.
We
Daniel,
have
give us the breaking news alert.
Bow, 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 bow.
I'm surprised you don't actually have a little tune for that, Daniel. You got something for everything else.
I should, and I don't.
Be better.
I don't.
Be better.
I got to be better at the soundboard and being ready for this. I just assumed Maya was going to be like, I did everything that I could have done, and now I'm going to go pro. Peace out. But I'm glad that you're coming back. But here's the deal: if y'all want to know more about Grace or Maya, you just want to see, what kind of posing, what kind of influencing they're doing on social media, or what random shit they're doing on a Tuesday night, going over to Instagram, grace.stordy or maya.jones9. You'll see everything that you want to see. Keep an update with them, and who knows, you might see a little bit of soccer here and there. But if you want to follow them on the pitch, and that goes for everybody out there, you need to start attending these games. The 901 needs to bring it, because you are missing out on something special, because both of these ladies are coming back, and it's going to be an amazing season next season. But if you want to keep updates in the off season, you want to see what's going on during the season, Instagram, Memphis W Soccer. Maya, Grace, it's a pleasure. If there's anything we can do for you guys, please reach out to us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. That is Mya Jones and Grace Stordy. We're going to take a break. We're going to plug some sponsors so we can pay these bills around here. When we come back, we got headlines for you.